Hi, Jerry. Thanks for taking the time to sit down with me today.
Yeah,
How's it going?
not too bad.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. So I know that you weren't involved in our group presentation a couple days ago. So I just want to sit down one-on-one with you and let you know, what we're here for and what we can do for you.
Okay.
So I'm with Aflac, and do you know what Aflac is at all?
I've seen commercials. That's about it.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Got a duck, right?
yes, everything is the document. Super cute. So what Aflac does, we do supplementary health benefits for you. And what it is it's cash benefits that are in your pocket, essentially. So you have your major medical that covers, your doctors, your hospital, your pharmacy, things like that. And Aflac is kind of the other side of that, where it protects you and your income, it protects your family as well.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So are they getting rid of our major medical?
No. So this is something that pairs with your major medical. So it's to help you cover those out-of-pocket costs, like your copays, your deductibles, things like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. So if it's okay, I'd like to take some notes while we're talking, while I get to know you, and then we can kind of summarize what we've talked about and see what fits best with you and your life.
Oh, okay.
Does that sound good?
Sure.
Perfect. So tell me a little bit about yourself. What do you like to do on the weekends? Do you have any hobbies or anything?
I play hockey on the weekends. Yeah. I play golf.
All right. Sounds like fun. How long have you been playing hockey?
Since I was 6.
Oh, that's a long time. You ever hurt yourself? That's a brutal sport.
I have hurt myself, but it was kind of when I was younger, broken ankle when I was like 12.
Oh, okay.
But not too much nowadays.
No, okay.
Try to stay as safe as I can out there. But,
Yeah.
I've seen some people get injured.
Yeah, I know. When you watch like the Sharks or anything like that, you see all their missing teeth.
Yeah. This is a fake tooth right here.
It definitely happens, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Great. Well, that's really cool. Hockey, golf. Those are two kind of completely different sports, but
Same kind of swing motion, I guess. So,
a little bit, yeah.
I just got into golf recently, so
okay.
Probably about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So not as long, obviously, as hockey, but I enjoy it. Keeps me active.
Good. That's awesome. So do you golf with anybody? Are you married? Do you have kids or anything like that?
I'm actually engaged, not married.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Exciting one for wedding.
Coming up in April.
Cool. All right. Sounds like fun. Are you guys going anywhere special for your honeymoon?
Right now, we're not sure. It's either going to be the Bahamas or Mexico. Yeah, somewhere tropical with unlimited booze.
That's
my goal.
Perfect. I think you're kind of fine either way.
Yeah.
Good. So I just want to shift focus just a little bit right here. Now, I know that you do have major medical coverage through the winery here. So now I'm wondering what that coverage looks like for you personally. Do you have out-of-pocket costs or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, we have a $2,000 deductible, and I know I have to pay about, I think it's like $40 every time I go to the doctor.
Okay. And about how often are you going?
Thankfully not too often, knock on wood, but I did have to use it at one point, and it sucked.
Yeah, was it anything serious?
Yeah, I got injured on the job, actually.
On the job?
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
It was something that we were out in the field, and I was helping with this fence that we had that was the perimeter of our vineyards, and I sliced my hand open pretty bad. So that sucked.
Yeah, that's difficult. That sounds like really painful.
Yeah.
Do you have stitches or anything like that?
They had to put stitches in, and then it had complications, and they had to go through and go back in and actually do surgery because one of the nerves was cut.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. That's really
That sucked.
Yeah, absolutely. So did you hit that deductible?
I did.
Okay. And how was that for you financially? Was that tough?
It just caught me off guard. I wasn't really expecting to, pay that. I didn't really know what deductibles were at the time, and now I kind of understand it.
Well, that's
2,000 on out of a 5-second thing that caused the injury. That sucks.
Yeah, I know it's really tough when that happens. And how recent was that?
It was about a year and a half ago.
Year and a half. Okay. And so so you're out there fixing the fence. What do you do? A lot of that kind of stuff for the winery here?
I was helping. I'm one of the co-owners, so helping out in the field with some of the guys, and that was one of the things we were helping out with. And I'm not really typically out there doing that. Obviously, didn't know what I was doing and sliced my hand open. So.
Right. Well, I mean, that's really nice that you're kind of hands-on with your winery
Oh
here.
yeah, absolutely.
But that is really unfortunate that that happened. Now, how long were you out of work for that?
Well, I did have to take some time off. The surgery put me out of work they told me to miss work for a month. I couldn't afford to miss that much time. So, I took I think it was about 3 weeks off.
3 weeks? Yeah. Okay. Was coming back early tough for you?
Yeah, I just was limited to what I could do.
Right. Where you have to kind of step in the office a little bit.
Yeah.
That's definitely a tough thing to go through, especially have to come back early from an injury when you're not completely healed.
Right.
Because you're putting yourself at risk, for another injury, things like that especially with stitches. It's not something you really want to mess up. So I'm sorry that happened to you. So you did mention that you are engaged. Now, are you guys? And you're planning on getting married. Are you guys planning on buying a house or anything like that?
We actually are. We're looking into it. Right now we live, in her father's house. We're renting that from him, and I kind of want to have my own. So we're kind of looking into that right now. Yeah.
Okay. And that's something you want to happen soon?
We're thinking in the next year.
In the next year. Okay. That's great.
Paying rent for something we're not owning, so that's my goal.
Until you're paying mortgage, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's really great. And then, along with marriage, the house, sometimes people are thinking about kids. Is that something you guys are thinking about soon?
Probably at some point.
At some point?
Yeah, down the line here. Probably not within the next couple of years, few years.
But at some
somewhere.
point, somewhere down the line. Okay, perfect. Now, and with your fiance, has she ever been through a situation where she's been injured while you guys are together, or sick?
She's been sick a couple times,
okay.
But not really too many injuries.
Okay. So now, and I do want to ask, also about your family's medical history. Is there anything that stands out to you as far as with your parents or your grandparents, something that they've gone through?
My parents thankfully have been pretty healthy. I mean, my mom has diabetes, but she's kind of overweight. And that's kind of been the theme with her side of the family on the women's side. But I mean, one of my aunts just went through cancer, unfortunately.
I'm really sorry to hear that. That's difficult. What did that look like for your family?
Well, they're kind of a distant aunt of mine, but I mean, it definitely was hard. She was battling it for 3 years.
3 years
before she lost her life. Yeah.
Wow. And so I'm sure she went through surgeries and treatments and things like that.
Yeah, I know she was seeing some specialists. Yeah, a lot of treatments, a lot of things.
Yeah. Do you know what that looked like financially for them?
I really didn't ask. It's not, it wasn't my place to ask. But I'm sure.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I honestly don't know.
Yeah. Well, 3 years. That's definitely a very difficult situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And that's kind of why we're here, actually. That's kind of how Aflac actually got started, was for the cancer policy, protecting against things like that.
Wow. There's actually a cancer policy.
There is. Yeah. There's. I know a lot of people don't really know that exists, but it is. It's out there, and it's really helpful for things like that for people who are going through treatment for a really long time.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically what I'd like to do is kind of summarize what we've talked about a little bit, and then maybe talk about some things that we can put in place to protect you. Now, so you are pretty active. You like to play hockey, golf, things like that. You're getting married soon, which is very exciting. You're looking to buy a house, which is really exciting as well. Kids, maybe in the distant future, but maybe not so distant. Sometimes you never know.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we did talk about your injury here that happened on the job with your hand. Obviously that's something that's really difficult, especially when you have complications like hitting a nerve and having to go through surgery and things like that. With you being a co-owner, being away from the business, I know is pretty difficult. Not only for the business, but for you financially as well. It's just something you have to be here for, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then we talked a little bit about your family, with your mom and your aunt went through cancer. That's, something that's very So essentially what I would like to do is put together a safety net for you. So the one thing that I would start off with would be an accident plan for you, just because you are playing hockey and it is a very dangerous sport, although you've been very fortunate, right now that you haven't been injured. But I'm sure you watch professional hockey all the time and you can see, the things that they go through, especially, like we were talking about with the teeth, I mean, getting hit in the face, anything like that would really freak me out. But but it is something very serious, and it's something that they're in the hospital for a while, and for people like us, we have those high deductibles and co-pays and things like that, and it's for those professionals, it may not be something that's huge to them, but to us, it could be it's a setback,
Right.
especially for the fact that you guys are getting married pretty soon. That's coming up, and that's not. That's $2,000 you don't want to have to take away from the honeymoon fund, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, so I think the accident plan would be something that would be really beneficial for you. It would help protect against things of that nature, especially, when you sliced your hand. That's something that you really could have benefited from if, would have paid for you to go to the emergency room, your surgery. It would have helped with things like that. And it really would have helped you, be able to stay at home for that extra week so your hand could heal even more, so you're not agitating your stitches and, potentially causing even further damage.
Nice.
Things like that. Yeah, absolutely. The next thing that I think would be really great for you would be short-term disability. It kind of goes along with the accident plan. So, so you're aware that you pay the state disability, correct?
I believe I do. Yeah, I think I do.
Okay. And so it's on your paycheck, SDI. That's what it looks like.
Okay.
On there. Yeah. So, so state disability, what happens is they have a 7-day waiting period, so you don't get paid until the 8th day that you're out. And then once that happens, they'll say, okay, you can go on state disability. You're going to be out for an extended period of time, but they will only pay up to 55% of your income. And with half of your income gone, is that something that would be difficult for you for 3 or 4 weeks?
Yeah, and I can see it being a problem, absolutely.
Right, exactly. So that's where we come in with our short-term disability. It pays on top of that state disability. Brings you up to more of that 70-75%. So you're a little bit more comfortable. You're able to pay your bills. You're able to go to the grocery store, things like that. And, while it's not that full 100%, because they want you to still come back to work, right?
Right.
That's not going to go away, unfortunately. But it is something to keep you comfortable and to keep you, able to stay at home for that extra week if you need it to rest and recuperate and kind of go by what the doctor says and recommends for you.
Right. Because you told me and I didn't really listen. So,
right. Yeah, exactly. And you don't want to run that risk of coming back early.
Okay.
Like you mentioned. Now, the last thing that I think we should talk about maybe would be a hospital plan for you guys, just because you do have the higher deductible with that $2,000. And especially since you guys are thinking, or you're getting married and you're thinking about having kids in the future, this is something that helps with those out-of-pocket costs as well, because as we know, children are expensive, and having children is actually expensive. There's a lot of out-of-pocket associated with birth and things like that.
Really?
Absolutely. And this is also something that would have helped with the surgery with your hand as well.
Okay.
And the nice thing about all of these plans is they pay on top of each other. There's no coordination of benefits, as we call it.
Okay.
So it's not like one will kick in and then the other two won't. It's if it qualifies, everything will pay on top of each other for you. So that's extra cash in your pocket.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So it's so when you guys do buy that house, which it sounds like it's coming up pretty soon, you're not going to have to worry about your mortgage. You're not going to have to take out a loan or ask family for anything like that. And you guys being a young couple, you don't want to have to, go into debt or anything like that right off the bat.
Absolutely.
You want to stay afloat and, and start your family off right.
Yeah.
So is that something that would make sense for you guys?
Yeah. So you mentioned it's covering kids. So how would it help me in that case? Can I cover my spouse under these?
Once you guys are married, you can. That's considered a major life event. So once you guys do get married in April, we can add her to these plans.
Okay. So that'll allow me to put her on these.
Absolutely. Exactly. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So that's something that would work for you?
It sounds great. I mean, I understand, now I, can understand the doc and how you guys can do that. some questions. I mean, like, what's the cost of something like this?
So a safety net like this would run you roughly $50 to $60 per paycheck. All of the plans are pre-tax with the exception of the short-term disability. So you will be seeing those tax savings at the end of the year, which is really nice.
That's nice. I like, yeah, as much as pre-tax stuff, I like big into that.
Right, yeah. Why not?
Like
yeah.
Okay, and so is this replacing the major medical that I'm having?
No,
okay,
absolutely not.
This all, is. I know I asked that earlier, but
yeah, no, just to make that clear. Yeah, so this is your major medical over here. This is Aflac over here. They're separate. You know, your major medical is still going to be there. It's not going anywhere. That's still going to pay your doctor bill and things like that, except for those copays and those deductibles. Aflac over here is going to pay everything else. Essentially, it's going to be money in your pocket. You can really use that how you want. You don't have to use it for those copays if you don't need to. You need to use it for your rent, for your groceries, your bills, things like that, utilities, you know.
Okay.
Then that's what you can use it for.
Okay.
It's what
so they're going to pay me directly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
So is this something I can look over? Am I signing up today? Is this something I have to do today?
This is something that you can look over. I'm just curious, do you have any other questions or any other objections that you could think of that you might have later tonight?
I mean, I think you've kind of answered most of my questions, I guess. I sometimes like looking at things.
Yeah. Understandable. Well, we can definitely look a little bit deeper into the plans if that's something that you want to look at. But if it's something that you feel that is going to protect you and your fiance, especially with all the things that you have coming up, I would definitely recommend, getting started at least. And, if this isn't something that works out for you later on, our next enrollment period next year, you can make changes.
Oh, really?
You're not stuck with this for life.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So when can I make changes if I was to?
It would be the next enrollment period, which would be the following year.
Okay, for 1 year.
Yeah.
And how much did you say?
Roughly $50 to $60 per paycheck, but most of that is the pre-tax savings too.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess why not? Let's get started on that.
Okay, perfect. Let's get you some of that.
All right.